Hello and welcome to the first episode of Benchwarmer Conversations podcast. I am Joshua Stone here with Micah Moyer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Micah Moyer, and in case if you can't tell already, I'm way too big of a Cowboys fan. That's basically my personality. And also, I'm a proud member of the LeBron wagon. And so I'm not going to have the greatest sports take. I'm going to have some bias in there, but just hear me out on some things and call me out when I'm wrong, and I'm probably going to be wrong.
Yeah, the Cowboys might be an issue here, but like I said, I'm Joshua and I'm a Packers fan. I think you can see in the background the cheese head and then the Allen Lazard jersey, which is a little heartbreaking right now, but that's okay. I'm also a 76ers fan. It doesn't really make sense how I'm a fan of those teams, but I promise I'm not a bandwagon because if I was, I'd bandwagon to a better team. Um, but uh, I guess on this show, we'll be mostly talking about uh, NFL and NBA. And like today, we'll talk about March Madness. We'll kind of get into things that are happening at the time. And I guess we'll just go from there. Uh, so I think today we're going to start out with NFL. And we'll talk about the trades, the bigger trades that have happened here, the Jalen Ramsey, the Brandon Cooks, and the Stephon Gilmore trade. We'll start with the Jalen Ramsey, and we'll keep Micah kind of waiting here for the who he really wants to talk about. But what are your thoughts overall on the Jalen Ramsey trade here for the Dolphins?
So, obviously, when people look at that, they'll be like, Jalen Ramsey for a third round pick, what on earth? My Madden franchise can't even do that. What people need to realize is it's a dump off trade. Basically, the Rams just, it's not that they can't exactly afford Ramsey, but he's just so much money that they're just kind of throwing him away without releasing him. So they're getting a third round pick back. But I think this is more importantly for the Dolphins. Just now having Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey in that secondary, even though, in my opinion, Jalen Ramsey is probably about a year or two out of his prime. We saw it during the playoffs last year, especially with that Mike Evans touchdown, if you don't remember that. So I think he had I can't say a rough year, just like he wasn't like the top dog last year. And now with like other guys like Sauce, he's not like in that top tier, but he's still, I think, right up there, maybe a little bit out of his prime. But him and Xavier Howard on the Dolphins, that's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to see that. What are your
I
thoughts on
agree.
it?
That's a that's a good one to punch with Howard and Ramsey. Uh, I mean, the third round pick, I think the Rams could have got maybe a little more out of it. But I understand like the dump off. I think it was a win for both teams, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I'm the Rams, though, I would have tried to get a little bit more for Ramsey. Although he is kind of leaving his prime, he costs a lot. I think they could have got a little more than a third round and a tight end too. I mean, no
Mhm.
disrespect, but he was not the starter either. So I don't know. I think they could have got a little more, but it
Mhm.
was not a bad trade. Not a bad trade for either side.
Yeah. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
It could have been. And I think with that trade, I think it makes the Dolphins kind of a front runner. You know, I don't know. Tua's going to be an issue, a little bit of an issue, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
hmm
All
Hey,
right,
that
now
division
on
is gonna be crazy.
it will be, especially if the Rodgers trade goes through, depending on how
Yeah.
much the Jets give up, which shouldn't be too much, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, now on to the ones that you want to talk about. Which one do you want to start with here?
Let's go Gilmore first. Gilmore.
Gilmore? All right. We'll go with your thoughts here first again.
All
Gilly
right.
locks.
So I'll try not to make this too long, but as a Cowboys fan, having Jerry Jones as general manager is just it's a battle. I literally wrote a college essay on why this man should not be our not be our general manager. So I have very strong belief in that. However, seeing this just in the middle of a day, us give up a fifth round pick for Stephon Gilmore, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. because Jerry hates trading. He hates it. I think ever since the Terrell Owens trade, he's been way too afraid to make any big trade like that. He made the trade for Amari, but other than that, just nothing. But more importantly, what does Gilmore add to this team? I get like Ramsey, he's out of his prime. You know, he won a Defensive Player of the Year about 4 years ago, so he's out of his prime. But man, on a team that had the second best pass rush win rate, and with Trayvon Diggs on the other side, I I cannot wait to see this because honestly, that was our biggest problem on defense was the other side of Trayvon Diggs, and now I think we kind of fixed that. So I think it's gonna be fun to watch. I think Pro Football Focus had him graded the ninth best corner last season, and that's with him being cornerback one for his team and with a not so great pass rush. So now he's like the cornerback two now with a really good pass rush. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I always thought the biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys defense was Trayvon Diggs, but I'll take it from a Cowboys fan here. No, but overall, Trayvon Diggs is very good. He had a few issues a year ago getting a little bit toasted by a few wide
Hmm.
receivers. But overall, I do think he's a great cornerback, and I think like the Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey trade, I think Stephon Gilmore on top of that, a veteran who's starting to be out of his prime. I think I think overall that's great for just the players around him in the locker room, and then on the field. I think Stephon Gilmore's still got a lot to give, and I think that's definitely a big boost for the Cowboys defense, who already was pretty good.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I'd say it's quite their year yet, but we'll have to wait
Hey,
and see on that one.
it's March. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself yet.
I don't know. I might have heard a few murmurs there, but we'll see when the
Yeah.
season starts.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add before we go on to another one of your new Cowboys?
I just can't wait to see it. And if they stay healthy, which obviously isn't if they're gonna lose some players, but man, if they stay healthy with Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jaron Curse, Trayvon Diggs, and now Stephon Gilmore, who knows? Who knows?
Jordan Love might have something to say about that, but we'll
He
move
could.
on here to the to the Brandon Cooks trade. Um, Another move from Jerry Jones, kind of making you eat your college essay on why
I
he shouldn't
know.
be the GM.
Yeah.
Might need you to read that on here. That'd be
I
fun to
might
read.
have to. Well, I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was it? It's funny. It wasn't even an it was an essay, and then I also presented it in front of an entire class. So very, very strong beliefs on this.
It's impressive. How many people were in the class? How many heard this?
Probably about 20.
We're gonna
Not,
need to get an interview with one of them.
yeah. See their thoughts, how confused
Yeah.
they were, and like, what is this guy rambling about? Why are his fists in the air about this? What is he even talking about?
Why the heck is he so angry about this Amari Cooper thing? Who is that? Alrighty. Brandon Cooks. I
You want
mean,
me to start?
yeah, go ahead.
I'll again try not to talk too much. So, okay. This one is a bit interesting because a lot of Cowboys Nation is a little bit upset right now because obviously, as everyone likes to do, the edits were made of DeAndre Hopkins and Odell Beckham Jr., who may have made a few edits for, but that's besides the point. So I think it's a little bit bittersweet for a lot of Cowboys fans right now because they wanted Beckham Jr., they wanted D Hop, but man, Brandon Cooks is I get he's been traded a lot. I get that. But he's had six 1,000-yard seasons. And he had Jared Goff as his quarterback, Davis Mills as his quarterback. He did have Tom Brady, obviously, and Drew Brees, but man, I'm excited for this. And I think a lot of things people need to realize is unfortunately, this is not fantasy football. So you can't just get everyone. So you have to look at the money side and the draft side. We gave up a fifth and a sixth round pick for this. And for D Hop, we would have had to give up at least a second. And the Texans are paying for 6 million of his $18 million salary, which I was shocked by. I was because that was really the biggest concern because they tried to trade for him before the trade deadline but they couldn't work out the financial side. So now they worked out the financial side. So we're not even paying as much as we should for him. And I said going in, I said, I think the format now is you need two wide receiver ones. You look at the Eagles, two wide receiver ones. You look at the 49ers, I'd say really close to wide receiver ones. You look at the Bengals, you got two wide receiver ones and really good wide receiver three. I think what the Cowboys have done, they have a wide receiver one, and I think they have two solid wide receiver twos because I think Gallup, he came off an ACL. I think he'll be a lot better this next season. So I cannot wait to see CD and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup. I think it's going to be an interesting show, but guess who it comes down to? Mr. Dak Prescott, who you will learn I have mixed feelings on, like a lot of Cowboys fans. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I like the trade. It certainly made me happy Sunday morning, and I'm excited to see him wearing a star.
Mr. Inconsistency himself. It's all up to him. I agree. Like D Hop is. I mean, after the what was it, 8 game suspension, everybody thought that. I mean, he'd come back and he'd play, but not as well as he did. I think everybody was surprised by that. Um, and then OBJ, OBJ is still good. I mean, we haven't seen him play in a couple of years, but he would have come back and make a difference. But I do think the Brandon Cooks fit is very good. And like you said, 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and I think 4 of those came with different teams. Like
Yeah.
this guy
Yep.
he's just one that can translate to team to team. So I
Hmm.
mean, I don't think there's going to be any concern about him falling off in the near future when he joins the Cowboys. But I don't know, Gallup too. That's going to be that's going to be scary, especially with teams
Could
like
be.
like the Colts and the Dolphins, who are starting to get two really good cornerbacks. You got to have that third guy, and I mean, assuming that Gallup is the third guy, Gallup is he's up there with T. Higgins as one of the best third guys. So I think,
Yeah.
and for what they gave up to, I was surprised by the Texans because they've been, I mean, for a couple of seasons now, they haven't traded him because they want to get more out of what they traded. I was surprised with how little they got back for him, that they waited this long. But I think overall, I think Texans, other than paying the 6 mil, I think they got a decent end of the trade. But I think the Cowboys definitely won this one, and I think in the future we'll see that. Maybe not in the playoffs, but the regular season definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll see it in the regular season. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is. It's got to be better. It's got to be better this year, right?
Probably not. The divisional round is basically our Super Bowl. So hey, if we just make it there, I'm happy.
I would have been happy to make the playoffs last year. We saw how that went.
Yeah. Hey,
Dan
Jordan
Campbell out
Love's
here biting our
coming.
kneecaps. Yeah, Jordan
Yeah.
Love would have took us. I have faith. Which now leads us to our next topic, the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets trade. The trade that hasn't happened yet, and it's currently Wednesday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. So what? It's been a week and a half over that, and the Packers still haven't got what they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's I saw something saying that they can wait until the draft day, which is like the ultimate deadline for that. They said they probably
Yeah.
will as well, which I'm not a fan of, obviously. I don't know. I don't know if I like the trade for the Packers. Even if they can get one first round pick, I like the trade for the Packers. I don't expect them to get two first round picks. But the Jets, I'm not a huge fan of this trade. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm not a huge fan with Rodgers, with his cost, his age, and his how much the Packers are asking for. I don't know. I'd look more towards a guy like Lamar, who's he's going to cost two first round picks, and he's going to be a lot. But I mean, it came out yesterday that he doesn't want a fully guaranteed contract anymore. So I don't know why you wouldn't look to to the Ravens, give them the two first round picks, which you might have to give up for Rodgers, and go from there. Because I mean, you got a lot more time with him, and I love Rodgers. He's a great player. Off the field, he might cause a few issues. As we've seen, this is the third year in a row where we've got, I might leave this year, I might not, and I don't know if the Jets are going to want to put up with that, with especially the young core that they've got: Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall. Then you go to the defensive side: Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. I mean, this is a good team surrounded by young talent. I don't know why you wouldn't want to bring a younger but more solidified veteran quarterback in like Lamar Jackson. I think he fits better, and the cost is definitely better. If I were a Jets fan, I'd be wanting Lamar, not Rodgers. I love Rodgers, but I think for their fit, that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, if I'm the Jets, I'm taking Lamar in a heartbeat, if I'm honest. And obviously, as a Cowboys fan, Aaron Rodgers isn't exactly my favorite player in the world, if I'm being completely honest. And just like you said, this is it's gotten to the point, well, actually, it's way beyond the point of annoyance. It's just like, why are we doing this every year? Like, oh, I might retire. Oh, I want traded. And it's like he's literally just holding the Packers organization hostage at this point. But I think the Packers have had enough. I don't think they even want him anymore. I think they're saying, you know what? We got Jordan Love. He played really good against the Eagles. I thought he was about to pull that off. I was really happy, but he's got a bit more to go. But man, if I'm the Jets, you're gonna pay a heck of a lot of money for a guy that doesn't even seem to be 100% sure. Actually, definitely is not 100% sure if he even wants to play this game anymore. And I, I don't know. You're giving up. You'd have to give up probably at least a first. And especially in that AFC. I mean, if you're gonna trade for a quarterback, I'd want one for a heck of a long time. I mean, look at their own division. The Jets' division is going to be ridiculous because you got obviously the Bills, who I think are regressing, but I'll still give them some credit. And then you got the Dolphins, who are like maybe just a quarterback away. We'll see what Tua's doing. And then you got Bill Belichick and the Patriots, which who knows what could happen? Who knows what they could do? So if I'm the Jets, yeah, I'm going for Lamar. And I just yeah, I can't imagine what you're going through because I mean every hour I'd be checking my phone like what's going on and I mean the fact that you have to watch like the Pac McAfee show to get like a see what is on Roger's mind, see what's going on. No disrespect to Pac McAfee show, it's great, but it's just like he's just such a character. So I don't know. If I'm the Jets, I'm not trading for him at this point. But for your sake, I hope it gets traded to the Jets, and kind of for my sake, because I'm sick and tired of losing to Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah.
Understandable. I think on the Pat McAfee show, he said that going into his darkness retreat, uh, he was 90% retirement, 10% coming back. And he said when he got out, the Packers organization was like, yeah, we're trading you away. And he wasn't too happy with that. But I don't know why, I will say it would be a bit frustrating. But at the same time, you got to look through the, like you said, hostage situation that Aaron Rodgers has put them in the past couple of years. And I think you got to understand from the Packers' perspective, too, where they're at. And I mean, you do have Jordan Love, which was the Packers' choice. But like you said as well, I mean, he looked really good against the Eagles. He struggled a few years ago at the Lions game he played, week 18. Packers had already clinched the one seed, so he took over. He didn't look too hot. I think he threw two interceptions there. Uh, but I mean, last year against the Chiefs, he held his own. I was hoping Matt LaFleur would open the playbook up for him a little bit more, which he didn't. But he looked good for the limited, passing attempts that he had. And
Mhm.
I mean, the Eagles game, he played better than Rodgers, in my opinion. Rodgers had a great game, but Jordan Love came in there and gave them immediate points. And I mean, Rodgers was just slowly falling off that game. I think Jordan Love kind of came in and showed that I think he can hang, and it's one of the best, if not the best, defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'm still a little bit surprised. I can't say I'm crazily surprised, but after that game with Aaron Rodgers being injured with his thumb, right?
I believe it might have been his ribs. I think he injured his ribs that game.
Okay.
He had the thumb injury already,
Yeah, that's
so that was
okay. Yeah.
affecting him as well.
So I'm just a little bit surprised at that point in the season they didn't just say, you know what, let's just throw Jordan Love out there and see what happens. Now, obviously, it almost worked out with Aaron Rodgers, so I gotta give that credit. Almost made the playoffs. But I don't know. If I were the Packers, I would definitely have probably considered more just saying, you know what, Rodgers is a bit banged up. He doesn't really even want to play here anymore. Let's just see what this Jordan Love kid has. Kind of like a free trial almost, because you were what, 4-8 at that point after that game?
I think I think so. It was not
Okay.
pretty. That's for sure. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah. I mean, ultimately, did they make the right choice by leaving Rodgers in? I don't know. Almost made the playoffs, but didn't. Painful.
Yeah.
Got their
And
hopes
that's a
up,
tough
just
thing
let them
to,
down.
yeah, that's a tough thing to judge in like hindsight. So I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows what could have happened?
I think if they lost one more, I think they might have switched over to Love, but
Yeah.
and Rodgers even said he understood if they did. But
Hmm.
I don't know. As the GM, it would have been a tough decision to move on from your Super Bowl champ, four-time MVP. Oh my goodness. All the things that he's done for the franchise, it'd be tough to move on just in a single week. So
Yeah.
I get from that perspective, but
Hmm.
it was interesting. Very interesting. To wrap up the NFL portion, we'll talk winners and losers of free agency. This can be teams, this can be single players, anybody. I will let you start with one of your winners or your losers.
I'd say the winner, I'd say it's probably got to be the Chicago Bears, or at least they got to be up there. Um, just what the enormous amount they were able to get out of that trade with the Panthers, and then the additions they were able to make. Um, I'd say it's the Bears. I'm not saying they're going to be like a Super Bowl favorite or anything, but they've been doing a lot, and now Justin Fields has, I'd say a wide receiver one, and he's still got Claypool and Mooney. So Mooney's good. Claypool, who knows? I don't know. Claypool said he's a top three wide receiver, so
Gotta
I
believe him.
who knows what could happen there. So I guess I'll go with the Bears for the winner, and for the loser. I have to think about this one. I really want to say the Eagles, but realistically, I probably can't say that. The Eagles have just lost. I mean, they just lost. I'm blanking on his name. Someone to the Lions yesterday. Their safety. And
CJ Chauncey or
yeah, yeah,
Johnson Gardner Johnson. I don't know.
yeah, something like
I know
that.
who it is, but
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I can't exactly say the Eagles. So I guess I'd say loser could just be like, I don't know, maybe the Bills, to be honest, because they're starting to, I think, kind of hit a cap wall, and Stephon Diggs isn't happy. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't exactly define a loser, but I definitely know the winner. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'd say Chicago Bears are pretty solid winner, and maybe like the Eagles, Bills. I just look at the Eagles and see all the players they've lost. So I think I hope they won't be at that same height next year.
yeah, they've lost quite a bit. That the defense has got a few holes in it, but
Yeah, Brandon Cooks will be able to expose those holes.
yeah, I don't know about the Bears. Like they've made a lot of moves, but I don't know if any of those are big enough to make them uh Not the Bears, uh, to put it nicely, or not nicely. I mean, obviously, I got a bit of bias here. Surprisingly, I'm not overly a Bears supporter, but I don't know. I mean, they lost David Montgomery. I think that's a big loss, and Fields is good. Fields is good, but I don't know if he's good enough. I I love Fields. I think the Bears need to stick with him, but I don't know if he's their guy. I think from going to we might draft a quarterback number one to completely just flooding him, I don't know if that's the right choice. Because I mean, we've seen the Bears quarterback issues over the years. They've really struggled, and I don't know if completely buying in on one guy after he had a not a decent, but a slightly above average season, a very good season for Bears quarterbacks, I might add. So they were thinking second round coming of Aaron Rodgers here, but I don't know if I'm bought in on the Bears. I think they could be second or third in the NFC North behind or only in front of the Packers, but uh, I don't know. I think that division's getting a little crowded with talent, and I don't know if they added enough to keep up with the Lions mainly. The Lions are my winner. The Lions dominated this uh, free agency, in my opinion. Also, Andy Dalton getting paid $10 million to be a backup. I'd like to add that. That was interesting choice by the Panthers, but got to do what you got to do, I guess. Yeah, but the Bears, I don't know. They're 50-50 for me. If Fields has a season like he did last year and is a bit better of a passer, which we know he can be as Ohio State fans,
Mhm.
I don't know. They could be really good, but at the same time, I'm a bit worried. Not worried. I'm a bit excited. They could go terrible. And as a Packers fan, I'm loving this, but scared at the same time. So, uh, and my loser, Eagles are up there. Eagles are really up there. They lost a lot. Um, Honestly, I think the Jets and the Packers are my losers because they've been waiting for this Rodgers thing to pan out. And you've seen positions that they need. Like, I mean, the Jets need a linebacker. I think they're not just a quarterback away. That defense is amazing, but they need a linebacker to step up. I think they got that in their franchise, but I don't know if they're going to. And then the Packers. I mean, the Packers have done nothing virtually. They've got a I forget his name. They signed a good safety, but and then we got back a returner, which Keyshawn Nixon. Why couldn't I think of his name? And I mean, we haven't done much right now. Tyler Davis is our starting tight end, and we haven't been able to go out there and get somebody else. Dalton Schultz was sitting out there for a while and signed with the Texans. I mean, Love is not really. I don't know if he's going to have the weapons you'd prefer a guy going into his first year starting to have because of this whole Rodgers thing being drug out. But ultimately, I guess it is the Packers' fault that it's drug out this long. And I think for that reason, they are my biggest loser. The Jets are the second biggest loser for not being able to do anything to clear the cap space for Rodgers.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I just think they haven't even really been able to focus on anything else because you got Aaron Rodgers and he's all the Jets and Packers are talking about. So yeah, and they haven't really done anything, and
Mm.
so now it's just kind of lingering on. And it's like what I think it's a actually I think today it's technically a week into free agency, even though I think open talks started a bit before. So we'll see. I think things could easily change. Big things could definitely happen. But yeah, definitely right now, Packers and Jets one of the biggest losers. And yeah, very good point with the Lions. I probably should have brought them up with that. I mean, they've done a heck of a lot. I think they just got their defense better. I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm really excited to see what the Lions could be this next season because last season they were fun enough, and now I think they're going to be even better. And I should hate them because they're up in that state. However, I don't know. I've always kind of had a little. little sympathy for the Lions. They haven't really won much. Um, yeah, I kind of feel bad for them.
I mean, I agree. We just had an issue with the recording. That's why it's completely off, but we're back now. I agree. There's always something about the Lions that you just can't help to root for them. We will now switch gears to the NBA, where our first one will be about Mr. Moyer's Lakers here. How are we feeling about the entire AD and Lakers fit, as well as, possibly Tristan Thompson's workout with the Lakers? Is Tristan Thompson the answer in LA?
Well, first of all, AD and the Lakers, it's been a bit now, but when he sat out against the Rockets, I was a bit displeased with that. I was like, we have 14 games left. What I get it's a back to back, but we need you out there. We are the 11th seed right now. If it ended right now, we're not making it in the play in. So I'm like, that makes me angry. And obviously that Mavericks game, oof, that was a bit painful. It was a little bit painful, game winning 3-point shot. Wasn't my favorite thing to see. Um, and it's just, oh my gosh, they got what 6 games left, I think. So they're gonna definitely have to go like at least 500. Uh, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we can at least make the play in. That would be much appreciated. And we'll see when LeBron comes back. And then Tristan Thompson working out with the Lakers. Uh, I I don't know. I mean, could it be something? Sure. I don't think he'd really be like a huge role. And I think Darvin Ham even said, they don't really have any interest in signing him. So I don't know. I don't really think much of it. Um, it'd be cool to see him with LeBron again. Maybe LeBron would get flashbacks to that 2018 run when he literally picked up the Cleveland Cavaliers organization, put him on his back, and said, "We're going to the finals." And I still don't understand how he did that, but I he still did. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think much of it. I don't think Lakers will sign him or anything. But if they do, I don't know. I don't think he'll be a huge player. So those are my thoughts.
I mean, he can take over the 41 games out of the 82 game season that AD doesn't play in, but I don't know. AD's made out of glass. I think everybody knows that, unfortunately. I don't know. If I'm the Lakers, Austin Reeves, he's the superstar of the franchise right now. But I don't know. AD's not playing like AD, not Pelicans AD at least. And with Braun out, I mean, you need AD to step it up, and he hasn't. Austin Reeves has been the guy to step it up, and I mean, they're saying he's going to demand like 50 million this offseason, which you look at you look at not per year. I think it was like a 4 year 50 million or something
Yeah,
along
yeah.
those lines. But I mean, you look at how he's been playing. I kind of agree with that. I think he deserves that.
Yeah, I
But
mean, he had
I
a
think
35-point game. Yep.
he did, and he's been the one guy who's kept them above. I mean, I haven't been watching Lakers basketball. I'm not a Lakers fan. Quite the opposite, actually. Uh, Not a huge LeBron fan, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think AD's got to step it up. Right now, they are a half a game out of 10th place behind the Jazz,
Yep.
and they're not in the play-in. So, I mean, with the team that they built and with all of the years of rebuilding that is going to need to come after this whole LeBron and AD uh, team, I think they're failing. I mean, I don't think they are extremely
They are
failing.
failing.
Sorry, let me make that clear. I mean, I don't know. And I know this first episode is gonna be very controversial. LeBron's not the same player he was, unfortunately. He's not the same guy that took the Cavs back from a 3-1 deficit and beat the Warriors. I think LeBron has become a little more he gets the assists, but overall, I think he is becoming a little more of a selfish player. And I don't think he has that drive in him anymore that he used to have. I mean, watching him complain instead of get back on defense or jog up the court while it's a 4-on-5, I don't think a lot of people are going to be upset about this, but I don't think he is the same player. I haven't for a little bit. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not a LeBron fan. This might be biased, but I think LeBron and AD are the problems in LA. I think that's a good core with. I mean, D'Lo is D'Lo is D'Lo. If he's in the right situation, I think he's going to play well. And then I can't remember his name. I got to look. Uh, Vanderbilt, Jared Vanderbilt.
Jared Vanderbilt.
He's an absolute dog on defense.
He's really good on defense. Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember his name because I wanted the Sixers to trade for him, but absolute dog. I think AD and LeBron need to step it up. I understand they're both LeBron's injured, AD you can assume is injured. But I don't know. I think they got to step it up because this is the team that they built, and they're letting it go to waste. And the Lakers are going to be not a good team with the money and the draft pick situation that they have coming up after LeBron and AD eat up all the cap. So
Yeah. So about your point about LeBron just not being the same player, I definitely agree with that to an extent. Because even as a LeBron fan, going into this year, I was like, let's just get the scoring title. I was like, we got Westbrook on our team. It's probably gonna be about the same thing as last season. Let's just get LeBron the scoring title. And but that was way more of a focus than I even thought it would be. Because I mean, he was like playing through an injury to get the scoring title. And the second he got it, he was out for like a week, and now he's out for even longer, obviously. But it's a different, well, kind of different thing. Um, but yeah, I do agree that I think this season especially, it was a lot more about let's get that scoring title. Let's just get that.
mm,
And I think some of that winning drive has left him a bit. I think I think he as a general manager for the Lakers has completely ruined them for right now and the future. Because yeah, I think they don't have a first round pick till 2029, right?
I can't confirm that, but that does sound about right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a
so
while. The AD
it's a
franchise a
long
while.
time. So it's
Yeah,
just like I kind of feel bad for the Lakers because it's like they're giving up all this stuff for LeBron, who's going to be there for another season. Well, I know I think he's not kidding about playing with Bronny. I think he's going to do whatever it takes to play with Bronny. Um, and yeah, LeBron's not the same player as he was in 2018. In my opinion, it is insane to me that he's 38 years old and is still playing at the level he is. But I think it's definitely I think you could definitely easily argue that some of that competitive drive has lingered down a little bit. And just yeah, I think he was this season especially just really focused on that scoring title.
mhm.
It was just it was so bittersweet because I was obviously really excited when he hit the scoring title. You saw my video. I went crazy. But then we lose we lost the game, and LeBron's getting an interview afterwards with smile. I'm just like we. I get obviously scoring title is a humongous deal, obviously. However, it's just like it just didn't hit the same because we lost. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta agree with that. Like I said, I think it seems a little more personal accolade time for LeBron than it is kind of build the resume. Uh, and then also Bronny. I'm not hating. You can call me a hater all you want. I don't think Bronny's that guy. I mean, he's got plenty of time to develop, but like as a GM, like in 2 years, let's say 2 years, he leaves after his freshman year in college, goes to the NBA. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to draft Bronny before the second round, even knowing that, like, hey, LeBron's going to come with him. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like this might turn into a little bit of a Aaron Rodgers situation in the NBA where it's It already is in a certain way. The GM out here making his moves, and I mean, he's just I don't know. I wouldn't if I could throw him on the Sixers right now. I wouldn't want to. I'll keep Toby with all respect, and it's a bold statement, but I think there's more issues like Westbrook. Westbrook's looking good on the Clippers. I think LeBron LeBron is a little bit of an issue in my opinion, and a lot of people are going to get angry with that. I guess you could call me a LeBron hater. Wouldn't be too far off, but I try to look at it unbiased, and I don't think that he is a good franchise piece anymore.
Yeah, well, I want to address Bronny real quick. So, look, I think there's two sides to look at this because I think a lot of people view Bronny as like, another LeBron James, like, oh, he's gonna be a superstar. He's not LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
No hate on Bronny, but you're he's not LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James was insane in high school. He literally went from high school to NBA. And I do have a lot of respect for Bronny. I love Bronny because he's not gonna be LeBron. He we'll see about his NBA career and whatnot. But I think the fact that he's at least gone, I mean, I think he's a 5-star recruit right now in high school. I think that's
Who
impressive just considering all of the hype on him, all the attention on him. He's LeBron's son. So I just think him even getting to the NBA for me at least would actually be pretty impressive just with all the pressure, added pressure, to get there. But yeah, I don't no offense to Bronny, and I hope I'm wrong, but he's not gonna be LeBron James. He might make the NBA and be a I don't know. He could be like I don't want to say a role player, but yeah, that probably something about that. I don't think he's gonna be like a superstar. Yeah,
I agree with that. I think he could, like you said, you don't want to say role player, and I feel like it's a little disrespectful. But I mean, if you make it the NBA, you make it the NBA. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Uh, but I don't really see him, especially. I think for his career, it would be best if he went through college. But I think he's going to jump immediately to the NBA after 1 year of college, and I think that's going to hurt him. I think
yeah.
he could have starter potential with a little more, like you said, a role player, which sounds a little mean, but it's the NBA. You're in the NBA. We're sitting here on a podcast. I set the bench my freshman year. All right. Like, and my eighth grade and seventh grade year. And then I quit after my freshman year. Like,
You lasted longer than me. I was only in seventh grade.
hey, you got to stay on the 3-20 Donnell team that tried to lose by less than 50 to Glenwood every year. But
Oh,
um,
those Glenmore games are rough, man. Oh my gosh.
all I remember is sitting in the locker room before the game with, I think we lost by 52 the first time. 52 run on the board. It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Oh
And I'm like,
yeah.
I just got out of bed. I was in Fortnite until like 1:30 last night. I'm not gonna lie. And all it says on the board is 52. And it's like he's saying these guys are better than us. They're they want it more than us. They're like, this is a great speech already. He's like, they are more talented. Everything across the board, they are better than us. And he crosses it out. He writes a 26 beneath it. But I want us to cut this score in half. And he goes, if we do, we'll get pizza on Monday for practice. I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
for me personally, I'm like, yeah, that's good enough for me. I don't think I did anything that game. I might have hit a three, gave up about 20 points probably, but we lost by 28. It was
Yep.
heartbreaking until we got back in the locker room, and then he came in. He said he was proud of us. We kind of celebrated like we won the finals, and we got pizza on Monday at practice.
We did get pizza, baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
So
that except the first half actually wasn't that bad if I remember right. I think we
I think
actually
we
had a pretty
were, I think we did, yeah.
we, we weren't down by too much in the first half. And I remember like that was actually I think probably my best game. I think I had okay. I'm a bench warmer, okay? So I had 4 points that game, which I know you're like, what? Why is he talking? But that was big for me. Like I was like third string on that team.
He
So
was a
to get
dog.
four, what?
He was a dog.
Yeah, to get 4 points is crazy, and just to, like I had a good defensive play, I think. I had pretty good I think I literally just deflected a pass out of bounds or something, but for me hey, that's a lot for me.
I
So,
mean,
yeah, that
yeah,
game was so funny because I specifically remember the 52 and the 26 thing, and we were like, "Just cut it. Just don't lose it. Just don't lose by this much, and I'll be happy." Oh, yeah,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that team was ridiculous. Yeah,
It was rough. It was definitely rough.
yeah.
It beats starting the first game of the season and getting 28 put on your dome by a kid who's smaller than you and posting you up the entire time. But in my defense, I had only played point guard up to that point, and he just threw me in at power forward. So
Yeah. Yeah, he
and then
had
he
me
said,
at, like, freaking center or something. I'm like,
"Yeah,
"I'm not a center. Like, what are you doing?"
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's fun times." But with all that being said, I'm not Bronny, but I
Mhm.
do think if he goes 1 year to the NBA, I think bench player like us. I mean, he could join us on the podcast if he wanted.
He could, man. I would love to have him on, yeah.
Absolutely love it. But yeah, I think he should stay in college. But I think the pull from LeBron is going to make him go to the NBA, and
Yep.
that's tough. Also, if we played a 1v1 at 21, I think he beat me 21 to nothing. I'd like to make that clear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just speaking words. I wouldn't be able to actually be able to stand in a ring with these guys.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. All right, now to a little more praising. Hopefully, we'll go to the MVP debate here, which it seems like it's between Embiid and Jokic right now for the what is it, third year in a row?
I believe so, yep.
Or we could discuss somebody else. We'll go with that right now. Do you think anybody else is remotely close, or is it just these two?
I mean, I feel like you could always throw Giannis into there, but I think it's mainly between Embiid and Jokic. I think at this point it's down to them. I think they're the two best players. And yeah, I definitely think it should be Embiid. Um, yeah.
I like
I
that
don't know.
take.
I don't know. We'll just start playing there, but
I like that take. Yeah, I think it's Embiid. I think Jokic is a great player, but I think a lot of people value his playmaking skill a little more than they should. I mean, right now the Nuggets are number one in the conference, but I think you look at it record wise. I think could be wrong. I'm checking right now. Uh, they're 48 and 24. The Sixers are 48 and 23. So if you're looking by
yep.
conference, I think the Eastern Conference for once is better than the Western Conference. Is more top
Oh yeah,
heavy at least. I think
it's
the
yeah, definitely more top heavy.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I think the East is better than the West, and I don't know. I think if you look by, well, the Sixers are third and the Nuggets are first. It's like that doesn't tell the whole story. The Sixers have a one loss better record right now, same amount of wins, one loss. But like, I think Embiid does it on both ends of the court, and the defense isn't something that pops up in the scores book after games. I mean, you don't
hmm
look at the stats and you're like, man, Embiid had a really good defensive game, unless he's got 4 steals, 5 blocks, whatever. But I mean, the assists you can see. And I'm not taking anything away from Jokic, but I feel like the past couple of years it's been more of a slander to Embiid than Jokic is really good. Not saying he isn't, but I think over the years it's been Embiid can't do this, Embiid can't do this, Embiid can't do this, instead of looking like Embiid's dominant, or it's like he's a free throw merchant. How does he get to the line? I mean, you've got to be dominant enough that you can get to the line, and he makes the free throws. I don't know why. Like, is a 7 footer? That's impressive. You look at Shaq. Shaq was dominant, but you couldn't beat him, or you could foul him, and he couldn't hit the free throws. Embiid can, and I mean, Embiid can do it anywhere on the court. He can do it inside. He can do mid range, 3 point. All I remember right now is the 3 pointer on the Raptors last year in the playoffs to win the game. That felt good after events that
after
shouldn't be named
the incident,
a few years ago by Kawhi Leonard. I'm gonna pretend I don't see
or
that.
steps.
Yeah, yep. But I mean, overall, I do think Embiid is had the better season. I think he was up there the past couple years. I'm not saying that Jokic did not deserve the MVP, but I think this year especially, Embiid is the MVP. That's my personal opinion. Maybe a little bit of a biased opinion here, but I think he is having the best season in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
All right, moving on to the final topic for NBA. We've got some of our playoff favorites here as we enter the last couple weeks of the regular season. Uh, and unfortunately, as of right now, the Lakers are not in the playoffs. If they make it there, I think they could do a little bit of damage, but they got to make it there first. So,
I do.
who are some of your playoff favorites here? We'll do a couple from the East and a couple from the West, or just in general.
Yeah. So I think that I'm pretty confident that the East is going to be so whoever wins the East is going to win it all. Basically, that's what I think. So out of the East, I mean, this isn't really a bold take. I'd probably I like your Sixers to be honest. I think they've been the best team, especially of this like second half of the season. Um, I think they're playing great from what I've seen at least, and the Bucks and Celtics are really good. I mean, the Celtics is going to be a war with the Sixers, same with the Bucks, but I'd say the 76ers are definitely my favorite to come out of the East. And then out of the West, it's like I don't know, it's crazy because you look at it and it's even though the Lakers are the 11th seed, which is disgusting to me, they're only a few games back from like the 6th seed. So it's just crazy. Um I don't even know my favorite out of the West because as good as the Nuggets are, I don't know if they're like I don't know how to say this. I don't know if they're like championship team level. Like they definitely have won the regular
Mhm.
season, obviously. Well, not yet, but they probably will. But I don't know if they're quite there yet. And then obviously got the Grizzlies. I who knows with them with the whole Ja Morant stuff, and I think the Kings. I think the Kings are. I don't know. I feel like they're a pretty young team still. And then the Suns, they got KD injured. So I don't. I feel like the West. I feel like there would be a lot of teams that they're like 4, 5, maybe even 6 teams that I would not be surprised if they made it out of the West. In terms of the Lakers, if they get the 6th seed somehow, I think that they could give a team a run for their money. They could make the second round if they're healthy, but yeah, I don't see the Lakers going anywhere. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs because right now they're not, or the play in. They aren't even
Yeah,
in the play in right now. So I guess if I had to choose a winner out of the West, I'll go Nuggets just to be safe. But I don't know if they're that exact. I don't know if they're championship caliber yet.
yeah, yeah. I agree with all that. I mean, going back to the East, it breaks my heart to say this. I think if Celtics and Sixers played in the 7 game series, I think the Celtics would come on top. I hate to say it, but they've kind of dominated us this season. Uh, but the Sixers they've caught fire here in the past couple weeks with 8 wins in a row. I believe 8 out of their last 10 were wins. They lost the other night, which was a rough loss. Embiid fouled out in overtime, and I think James Harden didn't have a great game, so that kind of shows you where they were at there. But I think the Celtics are going to come out of the East again. As much as I hate to say it, the Sixers are a team that can't seem to make the conference finals. Heartbreaking. I got the Celtics though. I think the Celtics are the favorite in the East for me. I think the Bucks and Sixers would be a really good series. I think the Sixers win that. I think the Sixers, the only team they lose to is the Celtics in the East. So I'm hoping Celtics get eliminated first round, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see. On the West, like you said, I think it's just going to be a dogfight. Whoever makes it out of the West is just getting going to get slaughtered by whoever makes it out of the East. But I, at the beginning of this season, I loved the Grizzlies. now I can't stand them. Dylan Brooks, dude, what are you doing? You he, he's nothing more than a role player, and he's acting like he's better than Draymond Green out here. Uh,
Hmm.
Talks trash to everybody. I saw the other day he's got like $250,000 in
And he said
fines
like
this
it's
year.
just paper.
Yeah.
What?
How about we go back and see what you did? One of those fines was for shoving a cameraman down and he got injured. Like
Yeah,
for
what
no
was
reason
that? That was
either.
crazy. Oh my
Yeah, and there
gosh.
was no momentum. And he shoved him, stares him down and walks away. And it's like, okay, can't stand Dylan Brooks. I think Ja got the help he needed. I hope he did. Uh
Hopefully.
I think Ja is a good player. Hopefully he gets the help he needs and he's not going to be out of the NBA here in a few weeks. But I don't know. I'd love to see the Kings win it. I would.
Yeah.
I think Sabonis is he's had a great season. If I got to say somebody, I don't want to say the Suns either. I don't. I don't think there is a favorite in the West. I think, like you said,
No.
the Nuggets, since they're on top right now, that's probably the favorite that there is because they're on top. That's it. But I don't know. It's a toss up. West is a toss up. I think East is also a toss up, but not in the way that it's like a ton of mid
It's like a
teams
high
playing each
tier
other.
toss up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And between like three teams, not let's see,
10,
13
9.
teams. I will say though, the OKC Thunder, they're a team I'm rooting for here. I mean, they got a young core. They lost Chet, which will be fun watching him. I don't know how he'll play, but they lost Chet, and they're right now the 7 seed. Also, a game ahead of the 12 seed. So I don't know where that puts them at the end of the season, but yeah, it's I don't know. Celtics are my favorite for right now, for the current time being. I'd say they're my favorite. Playoffs will be fun. They'll be fun.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Well, not for me, but for other people, yeah, that'll be fun.
Not for Sixers fans. We know that all too well.
Uh, uh, hey, trust the process. Trust the process.
Yeah. I think the Sixers' biggest issue is they don't have a big. I mean,
Mm,
Paul Reed is. We need somebody who can rebound off the bench. Paul Reed's not that dude.
mm.
I love Paul Reed. B-ball Paul's a great player, but he's not. He's not the player the Sixers need to back up Embiid. I think he's a great player. There's nothing against him, but yeah. Okay. And now we'll switch once again for the last time. Looks like we got about 10 minutes left here to discuss
Perfect.
March Madness. My bracket's going terrible. My bracket that I made, like if both teams' mascots, let's say UCLA and Kansas State, Wildcat and a Bruin fought each other, who would win? That's my best bracket right now. All of my actual brackets are not looking too hot.
Yep.
So, how are your brackets going? I think you're winning our bracket group with one of them, but
Yeah, I think I am winning that one. I think two of my brackets are pretty good in that. But I have a slight problem. Three of my four teams to make the Final Four are eliminated. So my max points remaining is not very high. So we're doing good now, but well, good in terms of everyone else, but no
yeah,
offense. But
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
when you've
my
got
gosh.
Arizona,
Hmm.
uh, Kansas winning it all, and then who else was in my Final Four that was eliminated in the first round? Two eliminated in the first round, and then Kansas in the second round.
Jeez. Yeah,
Rough go around.
I said going into this year that I thought it was crazy different. I didn't think
Hmm,
there was a like powerhouse, but I did not
agreed.
see. I mean, a 16 seed and a 15 seed both win in the first round. That's, I mean, what the heck? Like, what is? I don't even know what to
Yeah,
think of that. Yeah,
just
it is.
crazy.
It's been ridiculous. I mean, it's been fun because every single year what happens is I'll go about 2, 3 games, maybe four, and my bracket will be looking perfect. And then chaos will happen. And then I'll be like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I just hope every upset happens at this point. Yeah. So my bracket's
Yeah,
toasted. I'm actually number one in another league where I can actually win an Apple Watch, but I have the same problem, which is not very many points for me because my Final Four is terrible. So
just hope chaos ensues.
just hope chaos ensues, which it probably will. It probably will
Yeah,
ensue. Um, yeah, I insane, insane.
yeah. I mean, uh, I think the Furman and Virginia game, we were all surprised by that, but were we really
Mhm.
surprised by that? I think Virginia's
It's
made it kind
Virginia.
of a habit. Yeah,
They had their one good year and then it's just back to normal.
they did. Yeah, that was rough. Um, See though, out of the 16 teams, who are you pulling for the most? And what is the reason?
Well, if we're talking in terms of who I want to win, it's the U, baby. That they're my in case I should probably note this. They're actually my like backup team, I guess. I'm diehard Ohio State, but I'm also a big Hurricanes fan, and I definitely am right now because they're like my last team standing. So I'm definitely pulling for Miami to win. They had a great win over Indiana. They struggled against Drake, but they look good against Indiana. So that's who I want to win it all. Um, who I think will win it all, I literally have no clue at this point. I don't even know what's gonna happen at this point. It's just insanity to me at this point. So if I
Hmm.
had to pick a winner, I don't want to say this, but I guess Alabama because they are the 1 seed and they actually have played really good in their past 2 games that I've seen. So I guess I'll pick them, but you know, there's no way that's gonna happen. We'll have Princeton probably win it all.
Yeah, which is who I'm rooting for. I want chaos.
I like it.
As long as FAU does not win after the
Oh my gosh.
360 missed dunk, if you're going to be cocky at the end of a game, at
You gotta do
least
it right.
make it. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta at least make that. Like, my gosh.
that's embarrassing. But
Hmm.
so, yeah, as long as FAU doesn't win, that's cool with me. I'm
Go Rocky Top.
pulling for Princeton, yeah. And to go back on what we were talking about earlier with the brackets, the other Final Four team I had was Purdue, which I knew that was a mistake going into it, but I thought maybe this year's different. The same thing with Virginia, and I should have listened to my gut.
You
Which,
should have.
yeah. Now I will say in 50-50 games so far this season, my gut has been like 0-20 in the March Madness. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been rough. It's been a rough go around. I don't know. Is there anything you would like to add here before we wrap it up due to time constraints?
Yeah. I just can't wait to see the Sweet 16. Should be fun. Elite Eight as well, and obviously the Final Four. I'm sure there'll be much more chaos. I really want to see Princeton make it to the Final Four. That would be super fun to see. It'd be so funny because they put the logos. Obviously, they advertise the 4 teams, and to see like potential Power Five teams, whatnot, or I guess in basketball, Power Six, to see all those logos and then Princeton, I just think that'd be hilarious. So I would just love to see that. So yeah, I think that as devastating as it is to my perfect bracket, um, it's so fun to watch. The upsets, they're just crazy. And yeah, it's in my opinion, it's gotta be the best. It's close. It's close with the NFL, but I think it's probably the best playoff just because it's just insane.
Yeah, I love football. I love the NFL. NFL is probably my favorite league. But I've got to say it is, in my opinion, the best tournament out there. I mean, you don't watch all the season and then you can just come in and just for what 4 days straight not
Yep.
leave your couch.
Which is exactly what I did.
Yeah, I mean, or in class watching it on your
Hmm.
computer. Yeah, I mean, we had days of that, and
Oh, yes, we did.
apologies to the teachers that we did that in their classes, but
Hey, we learned
priorities are
stuff.
priorities. Yeah,
They have to respect our priorities. They have to.
yeah,
It's March Madness.
agreed, 100% agreed.
Hmm. School happens 5 days a week. March Madness happens once a year. So I
Yeah,
think
it's
they should respect it.
agreed. I should just cancel school at this point.
Yeah, not just for March Madness. Why don't we just do it total? I mean, that'd be awesome.
Agreed. Just give me my marketing degree now. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
don't have to go to school.
I can be a civil engineer. I mean, come on, it can't be that hard. It's just like bridges and stuff. Like, it's not that difficult.
They break, they break. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've built them in like Minecraft and Fortnite, so they can't be that hard in real life. There's not that much
Exactly.
infrastructure and detail, whatnot, in bridges. I mean, come on,
If you
how
just
hard
don't
could it
use
be?
sand, you're fine.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me here on the first podcast, and thank you all for listening. If there are any questions or any topics you'd like us to cover next podcast, I think we'll plan on this being a weekly thing.
Oh
But
yeah,
there's still more discussion for times and stuff like that. Just let us know if there's any topics, and thank you for watching.
thank you, everyone.